This is a power steering pump out of a 78 GMC K15 pickup with 350 engine. It's probably the same pump used on 6-cylinder engines too, but anyhow, this is the old one here. Kind of got a teardrop shape to the reservoir. So what we're going to be doing is we're showing you how to take these power steering pump pulley off by using the AutoZone kit. So OEM 27031 kit. When you get this thing from AutoZone or wherever you would get it from, you open it up and it's probably going to look like this. Now the meat of this thing is right here, which is these clamps. They call them Clamshell Clamp. It's just a different style. There's all kinds of different these clamshell clamps, but this is for power steering pulley removal. Anyhow, on the GMC, you want to use this thing right here, not that, or on your Chevy or whatever. The reason is this, the thickness of this flange right here. You can see how thin this one is. This is too thick to use. This is too thick to use on there. This is the one you want to use. It's got this little wobbly freaking pin on the end of it here, right? Okay, so what happens is basically this fella is going to stick right inside there, and you want to get this thing threaded down so there's a pretty close gap. See, so it's kind of close in there. As you can see, I started to take this off and I decided, no, the heck with it, I'll make a little video before I go through the whole procedure. So anyhow, this is the one, the thin flange right here for your Chevy. So that goes in there, right? Now, so now you need these things, both your clamps and this ring that's going to hold these clamps together, right? So basically what you're going to do, we're going to zoom in right here, is you're trying to get on that freaking thing, this lip right here. You see that lip? So in other words, these are, now there's two different sizes on this. One side's really wide and one side's kind of narrow. And you'll be able to tell when you put it on because it won't fit right if you don't put it on right. But basically, let's see here, if I can get a good picture. Kind of get the idea how that goes on there. Just like that. Got it? Okay, let me put this tripod down, see if I can I'll back this out a little bit. Okay, so you got that one on, then you put this one on. You can tell if you've got these matched up right. If they're wrong, they'll look different. You can see this one's got kind of like a chamfer right here, and this guy doesn't. So here you go. That's the right way. Okay, this is the small, the one with this chamfer on it is the big one. It's going to go up against the two on the outside. So let's get it a little closer here. Okay, so small end down here. So it goes on like that. So the one goes on like that. And now you got it clamp. Now it's going to clamp on there. Now you got to put the ring over it to hold those two together. Okay. Now once those two are together, you're good to get ready to go here. Now as far as the tools, so 5/8 socket, 13/16 open end wrench. To get this thing started, what you got in there to start turning that nut counterclockwise. Now what's going to do is that clamshell clamp is going to start pulling on that pulley right there. Okay, so once you got it snugged up, you're ready to go. There you go. Power steering pulley removal. Okay, so the pulley's off and the remanufactured power steering pump has been installed. There's 3 bolts for this bracket. There's one here, here, and here. This is the longer of these 3. These 2 here are kind of the same size. They're short, and this is a long one just in case you lose track. So what we're going to do next is be using that OEM kit that we rented from AutoZone. This guy right here, 27031. So we're going to be using this kit. We already used it to take it off, so we're going to be using it to put the pulley back on. One of the things you want to do is put some lubrication or anti-seize compound on this thing, on this shaft. You don't need to put a lot on there, but you should put something on there just to help things along. I'm going to be using some of this anti-seize. So, I don't know. There you go, there's the name. Anyhow, we're going to be putting a little bit of that on there. Okay, and the part of the kit that we're going to be using is this guy right here. Has the collar and the clamshell. This is the part that we want. This nut and this bearing are one assembly. So what's going to happen is we're going to be, once we get the pulley on here, of course, I'll show that in a second. We're going to thread this in here, thread that down, and that'll push that pulley onto the shaft. This is just a close tolerance fit. There's no keyway on these things. Okay. So we're going to set the camera down and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we're ready to put the pulley on this thing. Kind of got cleaned it up. Want to make sure there's no cracks or nothing in this thing. Make sure it looks sound. Just give it a quick look over. Clean up the inside. Got a little bit of anti-seize, like I said, we're going to put on there. So what you want to do is you don't need to really put a lot of pressure on this thing, but you want to kind of get it even on there. Okay. Back this thing up here. Alrighty. And so now we're back to this guy right here, and put a little bit of lubricant on here because it's going to be right up against that. Okay, when you get that thing pretty snug in there, after a while the shaft will start turning, obviously, when you get it so tight. But once you get it nice and snug in there, about there, you thread that thing down, and now it should just be a matter of wrenching on this guy right here. And there we go. Once this thing gets flush, this gets flush with the shaft, it's going to stop. And boom, there we go. Okay, so back this thing off a little bit. Nine sixteenths.
Here we go. It's nice and flush with it. And that's really all there is to that. I'll see if I can add on to this video and show you what the engine compartment looks like. How you can take this thing out. Okay. There you go. FYI. There we go. And that's what we're installing right there, or what we just put the pulley on. Okay, hope this helps you guys out. Okay, the pump's all installed. There's the gear. Okay, so now we'll start it up.